Most people think they understand Goku. After all, he's one of the most famous anime characters ever created. For decades, fans have watched him save the world, defeat powerful villains, and push beyond his limits. And yet, Goku might be one of the most misunderstood characters in anime, because many fans see Goku as something he was never meant to be, a traditional hero. And that's where the misunderstanding begins. When people think of heroes, they think of characters who fight because it's the right thing to do, heroes who put others first, heroes who seek justice, heroes who dedicate themselves to protecting the innocent. Characters like Superman fit that image perfectly. But Goku isn't Superman, and he was never supposed to be. One of the biggest misconceptions about Goku is that he's driven by heroism. He's not, at least not in the way most people think. Goku fights because he loves fighting. That sounds selfish at first, but it's also what makes him unique. From the very beginning of Dragon Ball, Goku wasn't chasing justice. He wasn't trying to become a symbol. He wasn't trying to save the world. He was simply fascinated by strong opponents. He wanted to test himself, to improve, to discover what his limits were and then break them, again and again. That's why Goku often does things that frustrate people. He gives enemies second chances. He lets opponents power up. He chooses risky battles. Sometimes he even makes decisions that seem completely irrational. But from Goku's perspective, those choices make perfect sense because he's not thinking like a superhero, he's thinking like a martial artist. To Goku, strength isn't just a tool, it's a journey, and every powerful opponent is another step along that path. This is also why people constantly debate whether Goku is a good father. The truth is, Goku doesn't fit the traditional image of a father either, and that's exactly the point. Goku grew up differently than almost anyone else. He spent most of his childhood isolated from society. He wasn't raised with normal expectations. He didn't learn what a conventional family life looked like. So when fans judge Goku by normal standards, they're often comparing him to something he never had the chance to become. Does that mean Goku is a perfect father? Of course not. He's made mistakes, a lot of them. But the idea that Goku doesn't care about his family simply isn't true. Again and again, he sacrifices himself for the people he loves. Again and again, he puts his life on the line to protect Earth. Again and again, he risks everything so others can live. The problem isn't that Goku doesn't care. The problem is that he expresses care differently than most people. Another reason fans misunderstand Goku is because of how much Dragon Ball evolved over time. As the series became more popular around the world, different versions of Goku emerged. Some adaptations emphasized his heroic qualities. Others softened parts of his personality. As a result, many viewers were introduced to a version of Goku that felt more like a traditional superhero. But at his core, Goku has always been something else. He's a fighter, not because he wants power, but because fighting is how he connects with the world. Think about some of Goku's most important relationships: Vegeta, Piccolo, Tien, even Frieza. Many of these relationships begin through conflict, because battle is Goku's language. It's how he understands people. It's how he builds respect. It's how he forms connections. To someone else, a fight is violence. To Goku, a fight can be communication, and that's a huge difference. This is also why Goku rarely holds grudges. He doesn't spend his life consumed by hatred. He doesn't obsess over revenge, even against enemies who have done terrible things. Because once the battle is over, Goku often focuses on what comes next: growth, improvement, possibility. He sees potential where others see enemies. And while that mindset sometimes creates problems, it's also one of the reasons so many former villains become allies. The funny thing is that the traits people criticize Goku for are often the same traits that make him special. His obsession with improvement, his refusal to give up, his belief that people can change, his willingness to challenge the impossible. Without those qualities, Goku wouldn't be Goku. He'd just be another hero. And maybe that's why Dragon Ball has lasted for generations, because Goku isn't a perfect role model. He's not a flawless hero. He's not even always right. He's human, or at least as human as a Saiyan can be. He's curious, passionate, stubborn, optimistic, and sometimes reckless. But those flaws are part of what makes him memorable. So why do fans misunderstand Goku? Because people often try to force him into a role he was never meant to fill. They expect a traditional superhero. What they get is a martial artist. They expect perfection. What they get is someone constantly learning. They expect a symbol. What they get is a person. And that's what makes Goku one of anime's most enduring characters. Not because he's perfect, not because he's the strongest, but because after all these years, he's still completely himself. And maybe that's the real reason fans keep coming back to Dragon Ball. Because Goku was never trying to be a hero, he was just trying to become better than he was yesterday. And somehow, that inspired millions of people around the world.